here and start the timer. I think, does it say we're live? Oh, we're live, yeah. Cuppi got a hot mic. Cuppi got a hot mic.
What? Oh shit. Turn down the audio on these intros. Might be a little loud for a minute. A little bit, yeah.
No, the intros works. Okay, we have to wait for a cure show to get back to put the dog to go poop. Anyway, everybody said in the chat, I saw it earlier. I don't know why I made a video game intro for this.
I thought it was really great. I love the vibe, man. I love that, 80s arcade vibe.
Well,
Where's the joysticks?
Yeah, exactly. Drone Therapy, the game.
Big gaming news, by the way. I don't know if any of you guys are gamers, but Battlefield 2042 will be out this October.
Come on.
I used to play like Battlefield like forever ago. It was like 1942 or something. It was like the first or second Battlefield. You had your private server and you had your own game and you did the own mods and stuff yourself. I used to do that a lot, and I haven't played in years.
It's
now
a great game.
I play a game now called Cabal Online. It's kind of like the cheap version of World of Warcraft. You can play it for free. So anyway, without that further ado, we don't know where Ron is. Ron was coming. He said he was coming. We think
he's at the shore. I was going to say he's at the beach, but you don't say that in Jersey. You say you're at the shore.
At the shore.
Yeah.
It's the Jersey Shore.
But
there you go.
You can't say. But if you say Jersey Shore, doesn't MTV have like rights on that? And you have to kind of give them.
We don't talk about that show. We don't talk about that show.
Okay. So I'm gonna as an homage.
Never mention Jersey Shore again.
As an homage to Ron Brown, I actually like formatted and made bullet points for the show.
I know, extremely professional.
Well, my rant I'm gonna have to rework because I see his point, but anyway. So I want to. Of course, everybody knows the big news today was the Anafi AI. I'm hearing prices of like $3,200. Have you all heard?
That actually sounds pretty reasonable for a commercial product like that.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean, it's waterproof too, man. And that gimbal, it looks. And the thing that's so cool is if it hadn't been for Unique screwing up the whole Manus name for a drone, they should have called it the Manus.
Well, the OA sensors, the way the OA sensors move up and down is kind of weird too.
Well, that's what the whole gimbal setup is so. And then how the gimbal can rock up and down, and it's that weird, what is it, like a counterweight on it or something? And
they're French. It's a French design.
And not just
think
that.
Think about a Peugeot or a Citroën. Any of those designs.
It's a waterproof drone, man. Yeah. It's not. What is it? Spree or whatever.
No, you know what the biggest deal about that drone is? The fact that it takes a SIM card. And you can control it BVLOS via cell service, so 4G.
And they've released the SDK already. They're going to right. So, I mean, and that's unreal. So it's kind of like, how's DJI going to? I mean, and Skydio doesn't even have anything like that.
Essentially, if you're with a cell tower, unlimited range. I mean, other than battery, right? But so if it's if they're using cell signal, it'll go a ways.
Well, it was 4G, right?
4G, they said, yeah.
Okay, have you all seen it, Chris, John?
I have. Yep, I looked over all the tech specs and all that stuff.
I haven't. Has anybody in the chat? Okay, go ahead, Chris. What do you think?
Oh, I think it needs to hang off the bottom of the helicopter. It looks like something from the nannies.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, the gimbal. Look at the gimbal. It does. It looks just like the ones they used to film movies with.
Yeah.
The big round gimbal.
The big round thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm done.
Is anybody in the chat? Let's see. I want to see the chat. Let's see. What is this? That requires special stack VO no longer legal or allowed. Ooh. Wait a minute, but couldn't. So what? I don't think they would have built it unless they think they're going to get permission like Skydio. Something tells me because Parrot does have some government contracts, correct? So something tells me that they're already in the back door for getting their approval.
Yeah.
So I think we're already good there.
Who it makes checkout to?
Yeah, exactly.
Senator who?
Yeah. I mean, okay, so we covered that. I don't really see anybody. They don't seem to be hot and bothered about the AI because it's going to be below most people's price range. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have started the show this way. I want to give a personal shout out to two creators who sent me something to my home personally, and I love you for it, and I'm grateful for it. First off, Mr. Michael Wright, who knows I'm an avid Star Trek fan, and they don't make these anymore, and he happened to have a bunch of them, sent me a whole sheet of Star Trek stamps.
Ooh.
Make it so.
And he was telling me that they're like selling for double or triple or something on eBay, and my wife was like, "Really?" And I was like,
"Very cool.
Get away from my stamps."
You're gonna come by there one day, and the corner gonna be gone because you mail something.
And then here's this. I haven't been able to use it yet because I got to get the adapter to put it on this. But I was talking to another friend of ours that we all know. He's going to be at Spin Up this year. Spin Up, don't forget Spin Up. If you haven't bought your ticket, get your ticket now. Okay. But yeah, I mentioned to him since he's been doing stuff for Moment, the cell phone camera company, or cell phone, what is it, lens company we call them, but they do more than that now, I do believe. But anyway, they started out that way. So I noticed, I looked on them so that they made a macro lens. So I was like, dude, can you get me a discount code for a macro lens? And next thing I know, he's like, dude, what's your address? And I was like, my address. I told him my address. Next thing I know, this shows up in the mail.
Macro 10?
It's the Macro 10 from Moment for the 11 Pro Max. And Billy Kyle sent me this. It's like $130. I was like,
that's kind of interesting, Bill. Let me know how that works. That sounds pretty cool.
It's exactly. It's like, because I love taking pictures of flowers and stuff like that anyway. And I was like, oh, that'd be really cool because I like taking most of it with my cell phone. So I was just bullshitting with him, and he's got that. If you haven't checked it out, he's got a course on moment that you can go take that tells you all things about, caring for your drone management, all that stuff. Another shameless plug for somebody else. But yeah, so he sent me this because I was like, dude, can you give me a discount code? And then I went and looked it up, and it's like $130 retail from them. So what? I didn't drop the lens. It was.
I was gonna say now you're dropping it.
It was a pin. It'd be like,
that's good. Good save, Bill. Good save.
No, it's over here. It's sitting on the table. It's still in the fact. It's kind of fun.
Drop Billy.
Nah. But anyway, so something that John and I have been talking about that I wanted to bring up as part of the R&R. So the R&R could be rumors and rants. It could be rest and relaxation. It could be, what was it? Sam said a repair earlier. And what else did you say, Sam? Oh, we called us nerds because we're talking about video games? Okay, maybe. What'd you call it? Something in repair? But yeah, it could be any of those. That's why I said R&R.
And repair and replace.
Hey, Ron.
Repair and replace. There we go. That's it exactly. So, and John and I were talking about burnout and something involving, he was talking about how he kind of pulled back from really following a whole lot because it brings into reality just how much longer our hobby has in existence, and so it's like shut up and fly. So I was wondering, we'll go around the room real quick, considering, I don't know, can you text Ron Marcus and see if he's okay?
Ron, I sure can. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like this, if he's gonna bail or something, that's cool. Just make sure he's okay. I don't want to find out he's having a heart attack.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about Ron RL Photography.
I'm glad to see sorry, I've not noticed everybody in the chat right there. But right now, what I'm talking about is what is everybody doing to cope with the reality that our hobby appears to be coming to an end within the next, say, 3 to 3.5, 4 years. Chris.
Just keep on, man. I'm going to fly till I can't.
Okay. I think, John.
That's just all I can do.
Share with you what you were telling me earlier.
Yeah, so we talked about how, look, I think since the beginning, since I got into this hobby, right, saving, you don't need to make me big. I'm good. I get nervous when you make me the center.
All right.
No, I'm just messing. But okay. So since I got into this hobby, right from the very there you go. Yeah, I mean since I started in the hobby, which was somewhere around late 2014, early 2015, the alarm bells were going off that the FAA was going to come in and do something about these drones, right? It's going to be a problem. Every single year, it's the FAA's taking our drones. The FAA's taking our drones. It's literally been going on for years now.
I like that one.
And, in the last year with, with COVID and everything else, I just kind of became fatigued with the whole crusade against the FAA thing. Not that I'm saying that I've completely stopped following any news, but it just seems like every time there's new information that comes out, it's something negative. There just doesn't seem to be much positive direction. What do you guys think? We had for example, we had the remote ID stuff, the proposal. We all wrote in. We all really, really, really didn't want remote ID. We campaigned. We all made videos. Hell, I made a video about the FAA Reauthorization Act and all that stuff to call attention to all that. We've all been on this, but it just doesn't seem like it ever goes away. I mean, I guess we maybe got a small win, per se, in that the remote ID ended up not being as bad as originally proposed. But what we're slowly seeing is the erosion of a hobby being easy to get into with all the laws, the rules, the regulations. It just continues to get more red tape. And I'm going to actually throw it to Marcus because, you were talking to us about the trust, about all the paperwork now. So, I mean, I think you kind of understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So, we even if you're Part 107, you have to take the trust test. And I know some have said not, but I was I can't remember his name, the gentleman that does the Pilot Institute. He said you do. If you're flying for pleasure, you've got to have that trust deal. And
I've
then
got mine.
Yeah, and then you have to carry around your registration card, your hobby registration card for your drones, plus Part 107 card if you're going to fly commercially. Plus, I guess you would also need to carry around the individual registrations. When you're Part 107, you're registering each individual drone. So it's just a lot of stuff you're going to have to carry around depending on what you're doing. Now, I suppose that I could say, if I was approached, I could say, listen, I'm always flying commercial, and then I would just need my Part 107 or whatever. But anyway, they really are throwing a lot of stuff at us now.
Wait. I do solemnly swear that I am only going to fly this flight for hobby.
Yeah, no, it is a little bit absurd, isn't it?
That's the intent. That's the intent at the time of the flight. That's the whole thing about that. What was your intent at the time of the flight? That's all that matters.
Yeah, and Akarashi was saying it right there. FAA burnout, FAA overload, and I totally. That really describes it.
It is. It just and the groups. I will say this: the groups tend to really magnify the bad news about the drones. They do.
You don't want to read too much. That's for
I love my Facebook groups. I do. They're great sources of information, but sometimes they're just too much information.
Over the top.
The thing that is kind of cool that I think that they've done with this was, remember how there was supposedly that confusion about, I do solemnly swear that this flight is only going to be for hobby purposes, because that's what a 107 pilot basically was supposed to do. Was to look into the sky and say, I pronounce this flight as hobby,
right.
So, but this basically is saying, okay, if a 107 pilot wants to fly a hobby or recreational flight, he's got to have this. So if the cop shows up, and even if you're a 107, would you really, if you just say, no, I'm flying for hobby, and hand him your trust? You wouldn't even have to give him your 107, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, because good point. Well, I guess it depends on what you happen to be doing at the time. Yeah, but listen, I want to also talk about a little bit of it that I think is on the positive side.
Yeah,
and that is that if this could potentially allow us to fly BVLOS, hey, I'm in. I'll be honest with you, and I'm hoping that it's something like LANC approval or Lance approval, however you want to say it. You're getting ready to do a flight. You get on the app and you say, listen, I intend to fly, a kilometer and a half on this flight. And then they know where you're at by your GPS location. I would think it would be different whether you got approval if you were in an urban area or if you were out in the middle of nowhere. I'm sure would make a difference, right? Yeah. So anyway, that's what I hope that we eventually get something out of that.
And something else positive, too, unless I've misunderstood, was that we thought there was not going to be the potential for more CBOs, right? But now it's my understanding that we will have a period to where new CBOs can retire or can apply, and they could have another field where you could go potentially fly without it, right? Is that what I'm understanding? I think I saw, was it Lawrence and them talking about it, or somebody was talking about it? Hello.
Yeah, Bill. Yeah, I've seen that too, and I'm totally confused
with it
about that also.
Hey, I see Mel 400 AGL is saying that with his Part 107, he is not going to take the trust test because he's going to say every time I fly is with the intent of posting on his channel. Totally legit. I
you don't have to.
Yeah.
Makes perfect
but
sense.
I guess if you ever fly and it's not a 107 flight, this is really silly when you think about it, right? Like this is not a 107 flight. This is really a kind of
wait. Hey, John, what if you take off with the intention of posting that video on your monetized YouTube channel, but somehow during the flight something goes wrong and you wind up never using that video on your monetized YouTube channel?
Yeah, but your intent.
Does that change?
What's your intent? What was your intent?
Or intent's the only thing that matters.
Well, I don't know. Maybe. What if your intent? Are you trying to say like, what if your intent changes mid-flight?
Right. Well, what if you're not even changing your flight? What if you get to the ground and the video shot's rubbish? So you have intended to post it until you actually got home and viewed it on your computer, and then you throw it out. Well, then,
I mean,
a hobbyist flight at that point.
I mean, I guess if it was a commercial, I guess if your intent was to do a commercial thing, but the video was crap, just because it came out like crap, I guess doesn't change the nature of what your intention to use it was for the flight. Does that make any sense? I guess
It does. It
Wait,
does.
wait.
Yeah.
Who's going to know it's 107 or trust?
Oh, whoa. So he's saying so you would still have to have it even on an AMA field. So even on a CBO field,
That makes sense.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Hey, Alex. Good to see you. Leonard, Brad, Drone Views Media, Stevie. He was talking about this. I thought this was a good point. Yeah. But yeah, that's what he's talking about, not getting caught up. But the thing about it is it's no matter how much you try to avoid it, it's there, and it always is part of the hobby. And just to kind of, that's like us, like I said, basically what were you doing to deal with it? Me personally, where I like to jaw jack a shitload anyway, it's easier for me to be like, rah, 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 rah. Whereas somebody like John, who is more subdued and laid back about it, he's like, nah, dude, I just don't want to see it for right now. Okay, so that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just got fatigued with the fight. It just like there have been some positive things, like Marcus was saying, that have happened. Like I will say that Lance. Like he was saying, Lance is great. That's fantastic. That's been a really easy change for hobbyists to just get authorization. I do it all the time because I live pretty close to a little regional airport. Super easy. I think that's a great tool for hobbyists. But it seems like for everything like that we get, it seems we take 5 steps backward in some other way.
A good way to look at that, I think, John, is the fact that really the FAA, we're the last.
Exactly.
The recreational flyers are the last of their concerns, and that is a good point. I mean, I've been approached by Leos before out in the field flying a drone. Never have they asked me for any kind of credentials about flying the drone. They might ask me, "Hey, what are you doing?" And that looks pretty cool, but I've never had them,
Do you offer up your credentials so that they can see or not?
I haven't. I'll tell you, I was at a school the school pretty close to my house. I was flying one time.
All right, boys, calm down. This conversation is sounding a little bit sexual in nature. Let's not offer anything.
Oh my gosh!
You said, do you offer up your credentials? And I was like, how does that sound?
I don't know how you got that from that. Honestly, I don't know where the hell your mind is.
That's a big reach.
I gotta admit, that's
being submissive, man.
I mean, that's quite a jump there, but whatever.
All right, go.
Yes, get us off of the subject because Bill's going to be
I was
embarrassed.
sitting there. I was flying. In fact, I had just landed the drone, and here comes this cop car flying up, and he pulls in like sideways behind me, blocking my car in. So I can't. And 2 cops jump out of both sides of it, and they go, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I just landed my drone." I didn't get excited or anything. I just landed my drone. I was flying, and they said, we just wondered what was going on. I said, yeah,
right.
That's it. It was cool.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Addressing Patrick Sutton's comment that was up here earlier, most of the time when a policeman does come to somebody flying, what it is not that just randomly rolling up and asking for ID or anything. A neighbor or somebody in the area has called the police and report to police, oh, this guy's flying his drone over my house. And that's why the police show up or whatever, because they've been, called by a nosy neighbor or something like that or whatever. It's not because they just randomly, oh, this guy's flying a drone, I'm going to pull up and check his ID. No, it's because when they get a call like that, they have to follow through with the call. That's just, procedure for most small police departments.
I like Acaraco's comment there.
Yeah, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Papers, please.
Anyway, so, but Ron, I think what we were talking about, I was almost to the point of having Marcus call you because I was concerned about your health. I didn't know where you were, but I figured out what it was. It was because Marcus pointed out that Marcus, you said he was at the coast. and then I think y'all corrected it and said you only have to say at the shore, and then John said Jersey Shore, and then I said, wait a minute, do you have to pay MTV royalties? And Ron appeared.
Yeah, in New Jersey, you don't say you're going to the beach, you're going to the shore. Once you're at the shore, then when you actually do walk down to the beach, you can say I'm going to the beach, but you have to be there first. You have to say going to the shore until actually you're at the shore. Then you can move on using the beach term.
And Ron, I told him never to mention the MTV show Jersey Shore ever again in my presence, because nobody from Jersey likes that show.
This part of Jersey etiquette brought to you
What was it? A bunch
therapy.
of New Yorkers acted crazy at the shore, right?
It is. They're all New Yorkers, basically. I think maybe one of them is from New Jersey. One of them is actually from New Jersey.
I never watched the show. I know what it is, but I've never really watched the episode.
Oh man, the dog still hasn't pooped.
And John,
apparently
John, as far south as I am, we get very few New York people way down here. It's mostly Philadelphia people at our shore point.
Okay, I imagine.
All right. So we've gotten hobby burnout. Quick, Ron, since you weren't here,
yes.
What are your thoughts on the Anafi AI?
Just watch that little video, you guys posted earlier, and, it's a great little promo video. It looks good, like it's going to be a great little enterprise drone. The more entertaining than watching that video was witnessing John and Gorilla Man's back and forth on Drone Nation when they were talking about the 4G and all that. That was more fun than watching the little promo video.
Yeah, it was kind of neat seeing all that. I think it's cool. What was it, Chris? You were talking about it being like the old.
It's like a gimbal from the 90s hanging off a helicopter.
Yeah, the way it's built and put on there.
The way it's built.
I think it's awesome that it's waterproof. I think that's really cool.
Let me ask you guys a question. What do you guys think about the addition of 4G downlink for controlling video?
There you go. That's the good question, John.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds.
John, explain that a little bit to me and the audience here. What that 4G download?
You're not going to have any signal drops.
It's not that you won't have any signal drops, but I mean, obviously, we know that the 4G LTE on our phones has a much farther distance capability than what we have coming out of our radio. I think it's pretty cool that what they've done is it's not 4G all the way. The way it works is it's Wi-Fi, and then if the connection breaks, it switches over to a 4G connection. And I do think that's pretty cool. However, I was going back and forth, having a great conversation on Facebook about this, and we were talking about what's DJI's next move here. Are they maybe gonna bring 4G to their drones to the consumer space? And I was thinking no, because I gotta tell you, unless the batteries that we have get better, I don't really see 4G being a big deal for consumers. I was looking at the flight time for the Parrot AI. 32 minutes was the rated flight time.
So just standard flight time in these days.
I can't get. I feel like I can't get excited about the idea of like a 4G being implemented in other drones or a consumer drone. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys can have an angle for the consumer that
John,
I'm not seeing.
John, when they're talking about, so when you're saying 30-minute flight time, then that's going to range limit you rather than the connection. Is that what you're getting at?
It's the battery time was 32 minutes. That's what I'm talking about. So
isn't the advantage of that 4G connection so that you could potentially go around behind a building if you were from an enterprise perspective?
Certainly.
So if you're mapping or something, you could go behind terrain, etc.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
of course, to go behind that building in a mapping or a commercial situation, you would have to get that rare approval from the FAA to fly beyond visual line of sight. To do that, though,
I think the fact that Parrot is building that into it will give you a clue about the direction that the FAA is going.
Marcus.
Right, yeah. Right. But let's be honest for a second here and realize and look, the Mavic Air 2S has OcuSync. We all know how far OcuSync can fly. Dustin Dunnell just did a video where I think he reached 22,000 feet out with the Mavic Air 2S. That's incredible.
4.2 miles.
Now I know that it that isn't routing around objects and everything else.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, John. Terrain will do it in. I mean, you saw my Montana flight, and I wasn't that far away with 03. As soon as I got behind terrain, boom, it was gone.
Right. So like very specific instances, I guess the 4G would be useful if you really need to get up and over terrain or something like that, where you're going to get blocked out.
And John, to your point on that flight from Dustin, he could have gone further based on signal, but he had to get back because of battery. So battery was a thing that hindered the distance of that flight more so than the connection to the drone. He still had a good connection when he turned around, but the battery limited him. So really, almost today, our signal connection is better than our battery rate.
That's right. Yeah, Ron, that was my point, that the next groundbreaking thing, I think, is whoever's going to come up with battery technology that can keep us in the air longer, right? Because as it is, if you're just doing a straight shot, okay, we're not even talking about legalities, whatever. If you're just doing a straight shot with OcuSync 3, that'll take you far beyond what your battery is capable of in terms of coming home. I mean, it's incredible. So I feel like I don't know what I really use 4G for on one of my quads, because I'm not usually trying to fly past my line of sight to begin with.
So one of the first things that I thought of, and Bill, you brought up the update for the Skydio 2 today. Now, and I love that Skydio 2, but the problem is that, well, this relates to this 4G or the connection. The problem with the Skydio is that you cannot. As soon as you get behind terrain, the signal is so poor. And what you'd really love to do with that drone is fly through the trees and stuff.
Yep.
But what limits you is that controller.
Yeah.
Drone is fine.
That Parrot controller.
Yeah.
Well, just put your 4G SIM card in here and get the range of the new Parrot.
Well, I mean, I wish I'm just throwing it out there because we were talking about terrain, and that's the weak point of that drone.
And it's a great segue too.
The Anafi doesn't have a great flight time either, about around 20 minutes. So you really couldn't go that far. I mean, not Anafi, sorry. You really couldn't go that far with the Skydio 2 anyways, because you're limited by the 20-minute flight time.
Yeah.
No, that's true. But Ron, what I'm talking about,
you're talking going behind objects.
Behind objects.
Which right now, unless you got that special waiver from the FAA, which would probably use a hobbyist, waiver's not going to come anytime in the near future. You're
Ron,
still doing that anyways.
Yeah, Ron, I'm sure that there are tons of people flying behind objects every day, and they always have a waiver, and they, fly at 20,000 feet, and they also all have waivers too.
Ron, thanks for raining on my parade, buddy.
And as a great segue, and they brought it up, I was like, today was the day I was like, okay, Marcus and I were joking the other day about, will the Skydio 2 fly at 100-degree heat? And Marcus was like, yeah, because it was Sunday. You were on Drone Seekers, and you were like, yeah, sure, go test it out. And I was like, but today was like 80 degrees. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm going to take it out and fly today. Hadn't flown it in a while, and I've discovered there's an update, 7.0.03. And the way they described it is fix some minor bugs under the hood. So I don't know exactly what that means, but so I'm going to check it out before, when we get done, mine's updated. I'm going to check it out and see how it's flying and what's different or not different. And so, Ron, did you update yours?
I'm going to do it right now, live on the air.
You know what was now? This is something? Of course, it's probably been a while since. Hello, Johnny, Cuppi blogger, Kevin from the Philippines. He comes in. Do you give away a drone? Good vibes. Hey, my nephew has one in Manila. It's a Bugs 2, and he never flies it. Go get him to go fly it, and then I'll tell him to give it to you. No, I don't.
Maybe some PB Minis available for giveaway soon.
Yeah,
in the Philippines.
Well, maybe that could be arranged.
Talk to Marcus.
Okay. Ron Brown said that. Ron Brown. The views announced here on the panel are not always.
No free shipping, though, of course.
Yeah, no free shipping.
Don't get me on a rant.
All right,
don't get Marcus on a rant.
This guy told me he's going to be in bed. I invited him on tonight, but he's going to give me that bullshit. Oh, you'd see a naked fat man. You don't want to see a naked fat man live on cam.
I was like, just going to say, Geeks, Sean's bringing on the depressing news, by the way. He just put in earlier, UTM is going to put an end to all of our range. Once there's unified traffic management, it's over. And any beyond visual line of sight for consumers is not the thing to chase, apparently.
Yeah, I'll probably find a new hobby at that point.
What did he just say? Okay, I'm not going to. Okay, so we talked about Skydio 2 update. Okay, here's the next one. And this is something that was on Drone XL, but we have something Marcus verified. So, and I have it loaded already. Did y'all? I freaked out a minute ago when my wife came in to get like tissue or something, and I was like, I couldn't figure out. I thought there was water leaking somewhere, and I was tripping out, and I had to look over here in the replay and see that my wife was behind me, so I didn't wet myself. Anyway, so supposedly on Drone XL, they reported that the DJI Mini SC will not be sold in the United States. That's one thing. And that part of what we were all thinking is not the fact that basically it's the Mini, but it's in a Mini 2 shell because the Mini 2 is more aerodynamic and has a higher wind resistance. So that's the difference, supposedly. And they're saying that it won't be sold here because this is what was said on a Brazilian website that was advertising it for sale in the future in Brazil. But Marcus went and looked again. Apparently, I think he has this like linked. And I'm going to go over here, and we'll go to window, and we'll hit
That's
the
a
window.
very interesting piece of news.
So here you go.
I've heard it's on sale in Malaysia today.
It is, yeah, but it looks just like the original Mavic Mini. But this, if you look at this, it's got the other controller, etc. So, yeah.
Yeah, and this is at Walmart, right? Like,
yeah, this is the Walmart.
Didn't the first leaked picture definitely come from the inside of a Walmart? Like,
and it
that
had
really
a Walmart card that you take to the cashier.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, exactly.
For anti-theft. That's why that whole thing, like, that's really weird. I
So
really
it sounds
don't know
like we
what to
got
make
conflicting information here, guys.
But he actually has the information. You can look at the page. It's up on Drone XL, showing you what it says on the Brazil. It could be a brilliant marketing ploy, because if you think you're going to get a DJI drone that nobody in the United States can have, and you can post videos on YouTube and say, "Oh, no one," in Portuguese, of course, no one here has, only we have the SE. No one in the States.
Well, I know what. I have
SE.
a proposal.
All right,
Ron, Marcus, Bill, you guys all got to get on a plane, get to Brazil, go find whatever store has it, and get one of those and bring it back for review. That's what you guys got to do.
Yeah,
or do we have a man? Do we have a man in Brazil?
No, we need to send this guy. This guy
Geeks
can go.
Mana should go. That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
There's our man on the move right there.
My Portuguese is a little
Wait.
Bill.
He says, "My Prescott DJI confirmed." Oh, whoa!
No,
This is breaking news here.
Launch.
His
Wow.
DJ Prescott DJI.
No, that's who we need to send. We need to send Sean down to Brazil.
Oh man!
So listen, this must have just changed this decision, because
Yeah.
why would Walmart even have this up on
Right.
their site? It looks
And
like
why
they
would
were planning
print
to
up
do
those
it.
Cards. We all saw those.
Could those cards be fake though, Marcus? Could that all been faked?
No way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's likely. Well, I have one right here. This right here, folks. If you looked at what you saw on Drone XL, this is the Mini SE. Now, of course, what you're looking at here is the original Mavic Mini. But if you look at those pictures, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Marcus,
the
why don't
same.
you just take a magic marker and write SE on the arms of yours, and you can have an SE.
I need to cross Mavic off of the top of the
Right,
case.
right. Just put a big sticker over there that says SE.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what, that's gonna disappoint a lot of people who thought that they were gonna get a cheap little
hold on a
quad.
second here. We have our resident Mavic Mini 1 expert on the panel today, Chris Hope. Chris Hope, would you be interested in a mini SE drone?
I've got one.
You do.
Yeah, it's called the Mini 1.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, it's called the
Same
Mavic
thing.
Mini.
Here's another good point. It doesn't use the. Of course, I don't. The Mini 2 doesn't use the ion battery. I think that was an experiment anyway.
Yeah.
Well, what
so-
about
so
that? What about
so
that
you use the
transmitter?
SE
Doesn't it use
the same
OcuSync
batteries
as
the Mini
well?
2.
What,
I thought
It's
I
using the
thought
same batteries as Mini 1.
no,
I
I'm
thought
talking
it-
about the SE. The
No,
SE.
the-
was
was
that-
the-
Which battery does the SE use? Mini 1 or Mini 2 battery?
We don't know, Ron.
yeah.
It's going to be a LiPo battery. It's going to be very similar to the Mini 2 battery, but the internals, what they're saying is it's basically the refurbs weren't going, right? They weren't selling or whatever. So they stuck a new shell on it, and now they're selling it as the SE.
So, Bill, you brought up the refurbs. Just the other day on newegg.com, they were selling a refurb version of the original Mavic Mini for $279. It was the full package, the controller, everything. $279 refurb.
Oh, he said Wi-Fi 2.
Every time Marcus says Newegg, I think it's
wow.
1995 again.
Oh, whoa, 2.4 only.
Wow.
So that's why they're not going to sell it here.
It won't go behind buildings. You got to
Hey,
fly
Ron.
behind a slate.
Well,
Ron-
you need a waiver for that anyway, Ron. Right? You just told us.
Ron, what the hell? You need a waiver.
Unless you got Scuddy 2 coming out of the box.
Yeah. Hey, Ron, you're not the only one that can update. I updated my Fly app on the air here. So
Oh, I updated mine this morning, so we're getting all our updates done
Well,
today.
I-
We
you know, the
haven't
cool
done
thing
my
is-
Altel Evo 2 beta updates yet.
Well, here's something else real quick. Did you know that Android you don't have to go and get the package from DJI anymore? It will actually update through the app now.
Oh,
Good Lord.
you can
Holy
fly
cow.
app.
My God, my female. Whew, my little female dachshund. Oh my word, turn the fan.
I'm going to fire up my Android phone and check that out, Bill.
Anyway.
Marcus is now supported by Google Pixel.
Oh really? Cool. Nice.
Yeah, look. He's a Pixel man.
No, seriously,
is.
I bought this just to test drones with.
Okay,
That's
okay. Moving
Yeah.
on. We've done some stuff, and what I'm gonna do.
We're
I'm
done
not-
with that pixel.
I'm gonna. No, it's cool. It's great. It's great. I'm not gonna sell this one. I'm gonna save it for my drones, and then I'm gonna send this to the Philippines.
You guys with your fancy new phones. I'm still running the iPhone 8 Plus, and I repaired the screen and I broke the front camera. There's my front camera. When I repaired it, that's what I have now. It's a green screen.
See,
That camera works fine, but I must have done something wrong.
Well,
Too many selfies.
See this? He's trying to make a joke. Trust me, Sam. I wish I could have taken credit for this one. It's one of those. You know, I swear, the paint on this wall is peeling.
Ooh, let the dog out.
Ron Brown makes me feel like a Luddite with my iPhone 11. You know, he's got that fancy new 12.
Gotta
But
have
John,
that
you're
12 Pro.
talking about an 8? You're
8 Plus, dude.
8 Plus.
It's a plus.
It's a survivor.
Did that come over on the Mayflower?
Yeah.
No, the 6 did though, and he used to preach about the 6. I can remember. The 6 is the greatest.
I'm gonna use this phone until I can't anymore.
I'm going to use this phone until they pry it from a cold dead hand.
That's right. It's still got a home button. I still have a home button on this damn thing, guys.
Home button.
Oh, I know. Yeah, did you forget about the home button?
Okay, I've opened the Fly app. on
Chris
my
knows.
Android
Chris
phone.
I got the same phone, John.
There you go. Hey,
Okay.
I've had the phone for 3 years, man, and the only thing that went bad with it was the battery and the screen cracked. So
John makes a joke, but I remember people were in panic when the iPhone 10 came out. Nobody wanted to get it because what were they going to do without their home button?
That's right. And you remember the what do you call it? The notch. You remember the drama over the notch?
The notch.
Oh my God!
The notch is no big deal.
No headphone jack.
That's right. It was the first one that got rid of the headphone jack, where you needed the Apple dongle, which I just recently bought.
or the little AirPods.
All right, he said dongle.
I
heard him say dongle.
There you go.
Don't tell Sam Burns.
Okay.
Oh, we can't say dongle?
Wow.
Can't say dongle, I guess. No.
We got demonetized for saying dongle.
No, I already
We got demonetized demonetized earlier with the school crap.
Yeah, just cool down, man. All right. Now, moving on. My next subject was C-Fly, the company itself. They are. I'm not at liberty to divulge publicly what was told to me, but supposedly
Top secret.
NDA time, folks.
They're coming
That's right.
out with something we would expect pretty much every drone company to come out with now.
Smart controller.
And they're going to come out with the second version of an infamous model they've built before. And that's all I'm going to say. But they have been working on updating the Faith 2. It continues to perform better with each firmware update. It's just their firmware update process is ridiculous. It's like one will be put it on the SD card, put it in the drone, turn on the drone, wait for the drone to initialize for 3 minutes, then turn the drone off, then take the SD card out, then remove the file, then put the SD card back in, then turn it back on. Then the other one is download this package, plug your drone in, kind of like Assistant 2. And then you flash
kind of like the Xeno 1.
It's ridiculous, but they're trying to work on a new app to where you can actually update and flash the firmware through the app. So
I heard somebody this week just called the say the drone again. I just had a memory lapse. The C-Fly. Somebody called the C-Fly Faith the like one of the best under $300 drones in the market. Somebody said that this week. Not Marcus Crawford, but somebody said that.
I was going to say, who the hell said that?
Yeah. So what kind of crack were they smoking?
No. Wait. Whoa.
Come on, guys.
Demonetized again.
Everything in the app works, though. It works now. Your exposures, it all works, and it didn't work before. The signal is... you'll get pixelation, but you don't get drops like you would do from normal Wi-Fi and stuff. It doesn't disconnect. It's greatly improved. They have made leaps and bounds. I mean, come on, guys. You all busted my balls and said, John Cuppi especially, they'll never upgrade with firmware. They might upgrade the app, but they'll never upgrade with firmware.
I admit I was wrong. I will admit I was wrong. Mark it on the calendar. I was wrong because it happens rarely.
I was actually, because for a while, John, I was believing you. And I thought, no, but I'm not going to grab it because it's put away.
Well, listen, historically, they've not. I mean, Marcus knows, did they ever put out a firmware up? Well, first of all, the original drone that they came out with, the Obtain, that was a total stink bomb. That completely went down in flames. Then they had the EX4, and that was... not that great either.
The EX4 is the Banggood version of the C-Fly Faith. Yeah,
right, exactly. And they never put any firmware updates out for that thing. They just put that out. Maybe did some app updates, but as far as I know, they never did anything new with it.
Well, here's the thing. Sean's got a great point here. The problem with C-Fly is they've only kind of filled in like 2 or 3 people kind of given leaders to and kind of connection with the company, and they're depending upon these people to actually go and persuade larger channels into testing the drone. Like, ooh, look at Ron. But yeah, it told you to, like, before mine Usually I'm all
Yeah.
connected and everything. This was the first time that I had ever remembered it telling me to specifically cut off my remote controller
That was the first time, Bill. It
And
said to
connect
turn
to-
your remote off, and it
and
connected
connect
the drone
directly to the drone. And I was like, ooh, this is a personal hookup. So yeah, I wanted to bring that up myself. You actually disconnect and you have to connect to the drone Wi-Fi itself to do the update. You flash the update directly. It
Hey,
goes
Bill,
a lot faster too.
I saw Brian Singleton over at True Drone Reviews tell you not to forget to update the
Beacon, the beacon.
I forget how do you update the beacon.
You turn it on and it tells you beacon needs an update.
Right. You just turn it on.
Well, and what you have to keep you have the drone on at the same time, obviously.
It tells you exactly what to do step by step right there on the screen.
Yeah.
Good.
That's
Thanks for this week in tech help.
well,
was
yeah,
gonna
it's kind of because I don't even know if they announced this one today. I probably will get up in the morning and it'll be on the website. New update, you know.
Hey, this is kind of like the show where Bill got my my smart controller upgraded for me. Remember, Bill, when I had trouble with the smart controller, you told me that don't let it go to sleep, and I kept tapping every time. I kept tapping,
And everybody was having trouble.
times.
Everybody was having trouble. Remember?
Yeah.
And it was like bricking them and all kinds of stuff like that. But anyway,
Sean made a great point I wanted to bring up. He says, I wonder if these companies would do better releasing the drones to a small group of people first to develop an update and then storm the market, not just whimper away when the original release fails. I mean...
Femi, are you
Yes.
listening?
Yes, Femi.
Well,
here's
These drone companies need to hire Sean.
Here's something else, and another reason that I brought up the C-Fly thing. And what it is they've had it. There's I think there's only 2-3 people putting out information from the company, and they're really confused on getting the information out. Like I was in a group where this one gentleman was getting information from C-Fly, and I was like, and they were like, well, we really want to talk to Aldrin and we want to talk to Kelly Shores, and I'm like, well, Kelly has one, and I was going to help him update it, but I'm not going to be your go-between for you hooking up with Kelly just because you happen, and I'm like, C-Fly needs to talk to the people. They're not actually talking to the customers. They're not sharing anything with the customers. Like this guy, we had people in this group that were bricking their drones because of the chaotic way I was telling you about how to upgrade the firmware. It just happened to work for me because I tried a couple of extra things, but at this point, I'm afraid to tell people because I don't want it coming back on me going, oh, I did that and it's completely screwed up my drone. Because there's that many issues with this little drone right now. But if you can get it to upgrade, it works fantastic. So that's great to hear. But all that stuff is just so crazy. And I got to tell you, somebody made a comment here. Let me see who said it. Somebody's here talking about companies using Bill Ron, I can't say your name, sorry. Gotta love companies that use Bill Renee said, gotta love companies that use the paying customers as the beta testers. And, I don't know about you guys, but I don't really know how much longer some companies are going to be able to continue to do that in the drone space. I have gotten a lot of comments on my Femi X8 mini video where I described why I sent it back, that people are just done. A lot of people are just plain done with Femi now. They're done seeing the same problems over and over come up with their drones. They're done being the lab rats. I actually think that some of that, certain companies aren't going to be able to get away with it anymore. What do you think, Marcus?
Well, you just to be fair, John and I have had a few of these conversations already online, and we're in agreement there. I mean, this whole deal with Hubsan is wearing me really thin right now. The fact that they promised us that they were going to ship that drone on June 15th, and I can differentiate it a little bit from the Femi in that Hubsan charged us full price for that drone. In fact,
true.
I paid more for that drone than I would have paid for the equivalent DJI Mini 2.
That's true.
So I have an expectation of them to follow through on their promises and their customer service promises. And when that drone shows up, you know, all companies can have a little niggly problem here or there, but it better be something pretty damn minor. Other than that, that drone better be frickin' perfect right out of the box. Yeah, Geek Spawn is right. I totally agree with that.
I agree with that
I'm
too.
hearing about
That's a
Hudson.
great point.
Yeah,
That's what I'm hearing about Hudson. What's going on with Hudson is I've heard that they've got between 600 and 800 models ready. They had almost 10,000 orders. They had like 9,000 some odd orders. But now it's dropped down to 4,000. But they're in a bidding war for the chips, and they ain't got enough money to buy the chips.
So Bill, why don't they communicate with us? Why don't they just tell us, hey, this is what's going on? You know, we're just leaving. We're out there dangling in the breeze, not knowing. You know, they took my money. They've had my money.
Well, the thing about you, like you told me earlier, FEMA took your money, and you got a piece of shit. At least Hudson might be taking a little time. Plus, they just got embarrassed big time, so maybe they don't want to send you a piece of shit this time.
If they're honest, then you might pull out your money.
Somehow we got over the Hudson, but back to Phoebe, John. After this experience with the Phoebe Mini, it'll be a long time before I ever give Phoebe a chance again. I don't care if the next Phoebe drone out promises to be the greatest, the drone of drones. I'm not in until that thing's out for months and months and months and has been tested thoroughly.
Right. Yeah. And I think there are a lot of people that are on your side, Ron, that have left me messages and they're just like, yeah, I'm just done with FEMA as a company. I bought the FEMA Mini and I've got some of your problems as well. I expected there to be some issues, but, it's just some of it is the same crap year after year. And it's not just FEMA either. Again, how many C-Fly with this whole firmware mess? Why can't these companies, they just need to stop doing this stuff because people aren't going to put up with that anymore. They're
Bill,
just not.
The problems that you had with
Bill, are you going to buy another C-Fly in the future? Are you going to buy another?
I'm not going to buy the 2 of that particular model. No, just because of that model.
So Bill,
no, I will not buy that 2.
When you started reporting the problems that you had with your C-Fly Faith, John and I, it reminded us exactly of the same exact problems with the original C-Fly Faith.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they didn't fix any of that stuff.
They just don't learn.
Well, here's the thing. I had it for sale, right? It was on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh.
And it was up for sale. And it works so damn good now, it's no longer for sale.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. People have suggested that I sell that FEMA, but I'm not going to because I don't want to inflict it on somebody else.
It'll get returned.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to address Marcus's point here about we segue from FEMA to Hudson for a second.
You got to let me segue if we're going to go back to Hudson.
Go ahead, Bill.
Because it's a segment that I came up with, and I already
go ahead, Bill.
It's the Hudson Xeno Mini Pro No Show.
If only you had an echo sound effect for that. I mean, we really needed that.
Yeah, but I don't need that soundboard. It'd get hung like it did the last time. It'd be like, oh.
No,
all right. So anyway, but yeah. So can you still cancel your Hudson order if you want to?
I could,
yeah,
but I'm not going to because I want to hold them accountable and see. Now, listen, if it's 2 months from now and we still haven't heard anything, yeah, I'll cancel it. But
well,
yeah.
Here's the thing. We all waited like a year and a half for Skydio 2, and they told us that it's going to be here in November. It's going to be here in December. It's going to be here in January.
No, listen, stop. I got my Skydio from the time I ordered it till I got it was less than a month.
It wasn't like that for me.
And to Marcus, I'll back Marcus up. The Skydio 2 came faster than the FEMAs and Hudsons of the world do.
Way faster. For me.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
there was a big delay. There was a big delay.
It wasn't.
But if you ordered right away, it wasn't a big delay. The big delay if you waited.
But there is a big difference, though. There is a really big.
I was in the first group.
There is a really big difference, though, because didn't Skydio come out pretty much right away and say, "Wow, we got a ton of orders. It's gonna be a while for us to get to this stuff."
No, they didn't tell us
the whole thing.
They didn't tell us until 2 weeks before the people in the first batch were supposed to get it, but only half the order was ready. And then they said, oh, you people in the second batch, late November, early December, late December, early January, late January. It was February.
They did keep moving the goalposts. You're right.
It was
they
February
did keep moving
14th before I finally got the drone.
You're right.
So, but the whole point was, look, Bill the drone reviewer, he bailed.
Well, he bailed.
He would have had a lot of drones.
He would have had his 2 days later. But let me say this. I'll tell you, Bill, what Ron and I's secret was in getting that drone. We kind of had prepared beforehand, and we were waiting on that introduction time to get an order in immediately. Mm-hmm. And that's what we did. And we were, I don't know how far down the line we were, but certainly we were probably one of the first ones.
I'm going to go back to compare it to the Hubson order. Marcus, I also ordered the Zeno 2 Pro or whatever it's called, the Zeno 2 right away too. We were first batch, first day, first hour, and guess what? We got our drones last. So at least Skydio had a line. Hubson didn't even have a line. It didn't matter if you ordered day 1. People ordered day 30. Man, got theirs before people ordered day 1.
Okay, but
can I say something else too?
Go ahead.
With the chip shortage situation, it's not really a new thing. Okay,
right.
We've got computer companies like Dell that are 100 days out. Cars aren't on the lot because they can't get new cars made from this chip shortage. Right. Meanwhile, Hubson's coming out and they're saying, we're going to get this thing shipped to you by June 10th. And I'm sitting here in the group saying, no, they're not. I don't see that happening. Not unless they have a whole bunch of these ready to go right now. And then what happened? They shit the bed. And they obviously couldn't deliver on their promise.
When I gave them my money, John, on May 7th, you mean to tell me that, and I'm being the
devil, they didn't know that this was going to happen.
They didn't know that they didn't have the chips at that point.
Yeah.
I mean,
Marcus, we were kickstarting on the 7th.
From what I understand, you secure these contracts for the time on the manufacturing block well in advance. Well in advance, you have to have it secured. That's why some computer orders are not going to be until the very end of the year, because you buy that time, you buy those chips, and then you get them when your time's. I mean, so how could they not know? How would they not know?
There's one really great comment in the chat right now. Richard Fink is talking about the definition of insanity. Richard, you're absolutely right. And we must be insane because we fall for it every time.
That's
right. Marcus, I'm going to disrupt the show a little bit. What button do I push to turn the beacon? And that shows you how little I use
that big blue one.
Which blue one? Top one or bottom one?
The one that looks like the Skydio logo.
Yeah, I mean,
can you see? There's 2 blue buttons. I have both of them.
It's all really one button, Ron. It's not really cool. Yeah.
I love Richard's. I love what Richard said there. Yeah, it's the definition of insanity. But like I was trying to say, though, there are a lot of people who are honestly, I think, done. They're just done. And I'll say this. Patrick's down there in the comments, and I have gotten a chance to fly his FEMI. I got to see his FEMI 2020, previous the firmware update from this year, and then after the firmware update. And I got to tell you, the FEMI 2020, his, is flying really good after that firmware update. But even he said, I don't think I'm ever going to buy another FEMI. Not after seeing your FEMI Mini and with how long it took for them to finally fix the FEMI 2020. It's just, I'm not going to deal with it. I think a lot of people have reached that point where they're done with the insanity. Because you're right, it is. It's just insane to keep buying the same crap and then expect something different.
Yeah, that's very true. And listen, to Richard's comment, I mean, I went through it with the Mi 4K, then the 2018 version of the X8 SE, then the FEMI A3 that first time I flew it, the lens fogged up on it, and then the 2020, all the garbage with that one, and then I went out and bought the Mini. So you're right, Richard. Shame on me.
Yeah, and shame on me too for ordering it as well, because my friend David, I knew about the problems that you guys had with the FEMIs. my friend David had the fog issue as well, which is FIMI A3. But I decided to give the FIMI Mini a chance. Supposedly, it was an all-new team. That's what I heard.
Right.
An all-new team of engineers came in. They fired the old staff. They got the new
They brought
staff in.
XDGI engineers in, John.
Yeah,
Right, supposedly, whatever. It was going to be an
They
all-new
must have got
fresh
the
start for
reject DJI
FIMI.
engineers.
It was
There must
an
have been a
all-new
reason
fresh
that
start.
DJI fired him, huh?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, and then it fell flat on its face. But I returned it. They have a return on their hands. I got my money back, so I did. I didn't end up keeping it because it was easy for me to return.
Hey, well, FIMI, what I will say is the drone that I dropped and I broke the leg and the gimbal on, the first one that I had, I wrote them and I said, hey, can I order parts or whatever? And they said, no, you got to send the drone back. Well, later on, they finally just told me, hey, we're just going to send you another drone. So,
They're going to send you mine because they've got a whole bunch of them that have gone back.
That could be.
They're going to send you my refurbished one. They've got all these that now they have to either refurbish or do something with. So there you go.
Yeah.
They're going to just give you mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know that when I sent it back to B&H, you know that they probably sent it back to FIMI and got a credit from the manufacturer. I mean, I think that's how that works.
Oh, well,
right?
I guarantee you that B&H had an agreement with FIMI beforehand, or they wouldn't handle their product. They said, hey, listen, any returns you get. So
They are a FIMI authorized dealer, so there's no way that they don't, at least share some of the probably most of the burden of the return. And B&H has all the information. They have all the information on mine for them to get a refund on it. I mean, it was clearly not good. So
let me share a retail secret. Most vendors dealing with the source company, in this case FIMI, it's agreed upon beforehand how many units can come back. Like at some point it's cut off.
yeah,
Okay.
so that was the same thing with when I was in the dairy business, Costco would deal with us the same way. They'd say we would agree right beforehand that okay, there's going to be a 1% or 2% return, and but this might be different, Ron, because electronics, it might be more of an unknown, and it might be harder to define that.
Well, you know what? I can't speak to right now or particularly drones, but I used to know a guy in the 2000s. He used to get things from Best Buy. He was a reseller, sold them all over the place.
Okay.
But Best Buy run to the same thing. They'd go over the quota returns of different tech items, and then they would sell to somebody like him. Because they couldn't send it back after a certain point because they had already sent X amount of units back. So Best Buy did have that at one point on their tech products.
Yeah, so it could be. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying drones. There was no drones.
But I'm telling you, for B&H, they better have set that number at about 75%.
The bar should have been real high on that.
Yeah, better be about 75%. Yeah.
Well, okay, folks. I know we bash FIMI a lot. They definitely deserve the bashing, but we have bashed FIMI a lot. I guess it's time to bash somebody else now.
that's right.
Well, we've kind of been combination bashing of Hubson and FIMI.
Well, and we're bashing FIMI's end product, and we're bashing Hubson's delivery, I guess you would say, marketing and delivery department. Now, as Marcus and I discussed before, even if the little Zeno Pro shows up in August, but if it's everything it says it's going to be, we're going to quickly forget all this stuff we just said about them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. I think that's wishful thinking, though.
Well, that's John, I'm one with you.
Well, we got to have faith in some product, don't we?
Yeah.
No. I know John Cuppi's Achilles heel. GoFundMe's.
To FIMI's credit, I will say this. They actually did reach out on my video, and they wanted me to send information from the drone. Unfortunately for them, that comment ended up in my YouTube spam section. I think it's because they put their email address in there, and YouTube thought it was spam. And I literally didn't see it until yesterday. I told them, sorry guys, drone's gone. I'm like, if you wanted a black box and stuff, sure, I would have sent it to you, but I wasn't going to keep testing this thing for $320.
Hey, Bill,
on the
how do I
line,
turn the beacon off now that I'm done? You hit the red button.
Yeah, the red button, Ron.
Thank you.
Hold it down then. Yeah.
It did a countdown. 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
and it's going off.
Speaking of the chip shortage, any interest here in Insta360 Go Tube? Anybody interested in that? I just
Marcus
bought one the
has
other
it, Brian.
day. I just finally bought one the other day and broke
Is that
down.
the little one?
The little one, yeah.
But
Everybody
it doesn't
has it,
shoot
loves it.
360. It's just
No.
an action camera.
It's just an action camera, Bill. It's
Right.
not 360.
You have the Go too.
It
does.
It does use the 360 software, and it takes about when you look at the raw video, it looks like a tiny planet or whatever.
So how's it been for you? Because I don't think I've seen a lot about it on your channel or anything.
Well, I've used
Unless
it.
I missed something.
I didn't do a review of it, quite frankly, John, because there's so many. And listen, I'm not that great of a photographer that I think I could justify it. But Ron's got the.
I'm the same. I have the bigger one. This is a real.
Let's see, Ron.
This is a real 360. As opposed to the action camera, and I don't say that in a bad way, because the Go 2's probably one of people's most favorite little action cameras.
And it's got a little tripod built into this holder for it, and you can control it from this holder. You can also control it from your phone, and then it's got some cool stuff. It's got this little guy right here that you can put it in. And then this clips, you can clip this on a ball cap or something. Then it's got this little guy right here that you can pull it out. You can peel this backing off, and it'll stick to things. And then it's got a pendant. Let me pull it out here. You wear this under your shirt, and it's magnetic. And you can just lock that camera right on the front of your shirt.
Cool.
Yep, the little magnetic pendant. That's what so it just literally sticks to you.
Here's the problem, though, John. When you're a fat guy like me, the only thing that camera shows is like your nose hair.
Oh no!
No way.
Oh no!
That's messed up.
Okay, God, man.
Why
Too much info.
Why don't you just pull it up? Why don't you just
now we know why the review isn't done. Now I know why.
Why don't you just pull it up a little bit, tie a knot in the back so it's shorter, and it doesn't hit on your.
There you go.
It's got an adjustment for that, Bill, right here.
Okay.
But what I did is I was drag racing, right? And I thought, I'm going to wear that sucker, and it'll show what's on the dashboard, right? It'll show the tack and all that kind of stuff. No, I was in for a shock when I looked at the video.
I'd say that was hilarious, man. You should have put that up just for comic relief, man.
No.
I'm kind of like Marcus. I haven't done a review on the Insta360 One X2, big name here, but because there's so many better reviews on it than I could do. But I've actually put in my workflow. This, it's a 360 camera, but it also has an action camera mode, much like that GoPro Max does, where you could just use one camera and use it as kind of a regular action camera. And I've actually used it in a couple of my drone videos for the B-roll, where nobody notices that I'm not using the GoPro. And one advantage of this over the Hero 9 is I think the image stabilization is even better on this hand holding it than the Hero 9. The Hero 9 is incredible, but this is even better.
That's good information, Ron.
How good is the little one? The stabilization on the little one? How
It's
does that
excellent because it's just what Ron is talking about. It's taking kind of a 180 pano, and then it's the software that then is cropping it for stabilization, and it's just almost perfect, Bill. Now, it's only 2.7K. It is not a 4K camera.
So. Right. But I mean, the thing only weighs what, like 30 grams or something like that. You guys already know probably what I want to do with it primarily. Right. I want to put it on my little FPV micros.
Yeah,
I mean, because I can't carry anything big on those quads. And I do have the Naked GoPro. I do have that. But there are certain quads that I would just love to take that camera and put it on and reserve my naked GoPro for just a specific model.
Hey, John, how much?
Especially
would you
since
love-
the Insta will take the hits that the naked GoPro can't. And if I get the 360 Care, they'll apparently replace it for me. All it's what, $30, and they pay for the shipping both ways, is what I've told.
Well, GoPro has similar insurance, John, but after you stripped that thing, I'm not sure they would.
Yeah, they void the warranty.
I don't think a naked GoPro they would warranty that one.
hey, John, what we love the camera like the go-to back in the old days of toy drones, the ones that came without cameras or had terrible cameras. Wouldn't it have been great about 3 or 4 years ago to strap something like a stabilized go-to on those things?
Oh my God, Ron! People would have loved it. I mean,
like a Bugs 3. Wouldn't you like a video from a go-to strapped to a Bugs 3?
Dude, that might be a video idea. I might just do that when I get mine, man. Just for
I would pay to see that video.
That might just be a fun one to do.
Do you really need ND filters?
Depends on what you're doing.
So it's kind of interesting you mentioned that ND filters are actually a good idea on the go-to if you're going to do FPV, because I've heard that depending on your mount, you might have a little jello, which is unfortunate. But an ND filter can kind of help you get around that.
Marcus, I don't know about the go-to, but on the Insta3, on the one I have, the Insta360 1X2, it has a button on there. If you don't have motion blur, you can hit a button and put fake motion blur in, John.
Huh? Really?
Yeah, you can put fake motion blur in if you don't have it in already.
And I'll tell you what else you could do with Insta3. You can actually do fake flips and rolls. Like, it has an effect where you can, like, I could literally fly through a tree gap, for example, and then apply the roll effect, and it will look like I rolled through the tree, but I didn't. It's kind of interesting.
You see somebody's FPV video. They actually did rolls.
Dude, let's do it.
But some camera on
let's do it.
Stable. They did their flips. Whose video was that? It took their flips out, so it looked like they flew straight, but they actually did fly. They did flips, but it unflipped it. It was so stable.
Well, that's the other thing it can do. Yep.
What did you say it will shoot at?
Will do that.
What will it shoot at? What's the maximum? You said it wasn't
2.7K, right?
The go-to.
Well, Marcus is 2.7K. This says it's 5K, but remember that's 5K shooting everything.
Right, but you see this idea they got going down here?
Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that.
So if you shoot front ways in 2.7 and you shoot back ways in 2.7, it's gonna make a cool video.
Make your own 360 video.
Make it, if you can stitch it together
without a 360 camera.
If you can stitch it together.
You know, I got to give credit where credit is due. There's another good idea floating around there, and Johnny Drone Flyer came up with it. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but it's a good use for our FEMI X8 minis. He's talking about having, like, you've heard of demolition derby for cars, demolition derby for drones. We fly around and we try and take the other guy out.
Drone Worship did that. Drone Worship did that a couple years. Yeah, did that a couple of years ago. They tried for about 4 episodes. That's about as far as it went.
Yeah,
but yeah, it has been done.
Way harder than you would think.
Exactly. That's what their problem was.
Yeah,
was crashing into each other.
Yeah.
So that's why they quit doing it, because it was so hard to crash into each other. But I bet you can do it with DJI drones. Or Altel, but nobody's gonna want to crash them into each other.
Well, yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be cool. I really wanted the CADX Peanut, which was supposed to be the Insta360 go-to derivative, but in May they said that's canceled because of the chip shortage. We're not gonna do it.
Sure,
and I was just.
Yeah, Insta's probably having a hard time getting chips.
Okay,
they are. I got the last one on Amazon. I got the last one in stock on Amazon.
I want to address this too, though. It makes no difference how good the camera is if it's always like this.
And if you can't connect to the drone, if you can't get FPV on the drone, none of that matters, Michael.
That's right.
It's okay. And I'm glad this happened, because this segues into, I'm not going to do the full rant that I was wanting to do, but I wanted to get this rant out because it's come to my attention that people are buying views again.
Oh. Oh, that's not
So
good.
that's, I've heard about it, that people are buying views for live streams.
That's
Some
not
people
good.
are buying views for their videos, and that'll get your channel shut down, man. And that's not the way to go about it. If your channel's not picking up, and if it's not, then try something different. That's what it is. Me, I know what my problem is. I'm lazy as hell. I don't put the time into editing a video. Like Sean Oz, I saw he was in a chat the other night. I don't remember which one it was. He said, but nowadays, just making a cinematic video don't cut it. You got to tell a story with your cinematic footage in order to get the people to pay attention to the whole video. He said, you're going to get your loyal viewers to watch you for a good 30, 35 seconds. And then they're going to click like and bail. That's not going to benefit your channel. You want people to watch. So you're going to have to do like voiceovers and like, I was going to fly my drone today, but the toilet blew out and I had to go. And then you take them and show them what you did in the toilet, not everybody's going to watch, but there's going to be some people that are going to go, oh yeah, I remember when I had that problem. Did you try using this wrench? And you get interaction on your channel. And that gives you a viewpoint as to where your personal niche is. So like everybody else here has better traction than me, because this is basically what I do. Every Wednesday I come on here, and like Ron was pointing out, like Marcus has pointed out, I basically give everybody information to go out and make videos. Like Marcus was like, well, you just upgraded his on the air that night, and then a bunch of people went out and made videos on what to do. Don't let it go to sleep. Don't do this. I think Brian Singleton pointed out one time there was an issue with the FEMI. It was the original Mini. The original DJI Mini, and I told him that he needed to go and use Assistant too, and then he came out with the video and did it. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable, like, talking to just the camera and nobody else there. It feels like weird or awkward. So, I wanted to ask you all.
You get used to it, Bill. I'm
do.
serious. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I can tell you this: I get to where I can just do it out in public now. There'll be people around and everything, and they're all looking around. Who's that guy talking to? And I'm standing there with my GoPro.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get by, because I always feel so like the other day I was on remember I was in Facebook and I showed the Mini 2 package. The guy showed in Drone Nation the other day. He took a picture and was like, I've never seen this before. I was like, oh, well, I did it about a week ago, and I felt really weird. But then, there was a lot of pickup, a lot of comments from it later. And when we had Aldrin on, he was talking about that's what you need. And that's something that I'm bad about. Like, I watch somebody's video, and you always, if you really like that person and you like their video and you want to support their channel, please comment in a positive manner on that video if you appreciate what they put up, because you have no idea what a positive comment does for somebody if they've had a shitty day.
Really,
they could have had the worst day in the world. I mean, the worst day at work. They could have gotten a fight with their wife. So, and they just happened to look at their phone, or they got on their computer, and somebody said, "Man, I loved your video. It was awesome. It really made me feel good today." And man, everything else just kind of melts away.
Yeah. Yeah, and also to that point too, sometimes you do a video and it doesn't do as well as you'd hoped. Maybe you only got 200 views, maybe you only got 500 views, whatever your hopes were for the views on the video. But then you get that one commenter that comes along and says something like, wow, this video helped me do whatever I was looking to do. Thank you so much. And then in that moment, the time that you spent on that video, it feels like, yes, that was worth it. You just made my day, because it really can get you down when you upload something and you were hoping to get to do so much more with it, and it just kind of doesn't take off. But if one person comes along and leaves a comment like that, it makes it all worth it. It's a really big.
Hey John, do
motivator.
you find that the videos you put the most work into, most time and effort, they get the least amount of views, and the videos that you think, well, I'm just throwing this up there, slapdash real quick, they do well for some reason.
Yeah, I've experienced that, Ron, and it can be really, really frustrating when you put so much time and effort into a video and then the engagement on it just flops. But if you get that one commenter that makes that comment that lets you know that that maybe they were watching it and it made them feel better that day if it was a flight video, or if it was a tech tutorial and they were able to get in the air that day, and they leave a comment and they say, "Thank you so much, I got my drone started and I was able to fly today because of this video." I mean, it makes it all worth it right there in that one moment. But if the comment is never left, then the creator just doesn't get to hear it. Now, go ahead, Marcus.
No, I just was going to echo what both of you said. I mean, that it's just hilarious. You could do an edit that you spend, 10 hours doing a very intricate edit, and the videoing took you all day or 2 days to get it all done, and it gets 100 views or something. And then there's one where it's just a talking head video, you're explaining something or whatever, and it gets thousands of views, and you're going, okay,
Look,
why did I work so hard on that one?
I personally have never experienced that, but thousands of views, hundreds of views. Okay. But on a side note, see, part of my problem is it'll start out as a good comment. It'll say, "Oh, I loved your video. It was fantastic. Click here for $9.99 a minute for more pleasure and fun." So I have to delete
you know what,
those.
Bill, you've got tons of comments. You got tons of comments right here in the chat right now. And you got 30 people. We got 30 people watching. It's an hour and 30 minutes in. That's incredible. So you may not get your comments the way we do and views the way we do, but you're still getting that engagement. It's just in a different format.
But I'm only getting 1/5 of it, John.
I mean,
I lost 2 subscribers since the show started.
I'm saying, man. It's
all right.
They'll say,
I'll
do support your local drone channel, and they'll tell me, "Man, it's fantastic that you do this," and then 5 people will leave. It's like they'll subscribe for me showing off their channel, and then the second the show's over, they're like, "I'm out of here."
Hey, Chris,
I don't care. I'm still going to do it.
I want you to know that if I could subscribe twice, I would.
Oh, I have another account. I have a drone therapy account. But now the only reason I have a drone therapy account is because that was something else. Billy's like, "You need to separate coast-to-coast drones from drone therapy," and I was thinking, "Oh, hell no. The only reason I stuck them together is so I don't have to work as hard." But he suggested, he's like, "You need to make another channel just for drone therapy." And I was like, "Dude, I don't know if it's ever going to get big enough to where I can do live streams on it." And he's like, "Just, do it." And then it was so funny because I did it and I showed it to him. He's like, "Oh, but I didn't mean for you to do it right now."
Yeah, but Bill, don't listen to Billy Kyle. Marcus and I started, Marcus and I started donation as his own channel.
Wow.
And we're still stuck at like 666 views, subs. We'll never get to 1,000
on Drone Nation.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Ron, you weren't here for me shouting out the people that sent me stuff this week, did I? Were you? Did you see all that?
No.
Okay, well, first off, I was saying thank you to Michael Wright because he sent me this, right?
I saw that post today.
Very cool.
Right. But somebody else, I saw something new that came out from Moment, and I asked this particular person for a discount code, but instead he said, "What's your address?" And then the next thing I know, this showed up. You know what that is, Ron?
I see a little macro lens for your phone, maybe.
From Moment. It's the new macro lens from Moment, and Billy sent it to me. I was like, and then of course, me being me, I had to go look it up on the site. And when I saw $130, I pissed myself, So I was like,
really nice to Billy. That's cool.
What I said. That was so. And the thing about it was, he's like, "Well, dude, what do you think of it? How's it work?" And I was like, "Dude, I ordered the M case thing so that I could actually use it." And I went ahead and ordered the lens brush too because I thought it looked cool.
Cool.
What it's all about.
Put your weed in where? In here? I don't smoke bud anymore though. I really don't smoke bud. I haven't smoked bud in forever.
Is it legal in Washington, Bill?
Yeah, been legal for. Why do you think I moved to Washington State? This is one of the first places it was legal in the country, man.
Ron's always asking if things are legal. I mean, he's got to ask.
Somebody's got to ask, John.
That's right.
Dude, it's evolved so much that they actually have THC inhalers now. So you can be like...
Well, they probably needed it that day. It was 115, Bill.
I've only seen them. I have not purchased one. I have not.
Okay.
I'm just curious about it, though. Because
with all the new FAA regulations, that's definitely needed.
I can't do that though and fly.
That's right.
I mean, the whole point is,
that's a depart.
I'm not saying to fly with it. I'm talking about with all the depressing.
Wait,
forget it.
This is like,
Just
wait a
forget
minute.
it.
We're separating issues.
I'm not suggesting to fly.
I'm asking them to trust me.
Oh.
So how can I get them to trust me if I don't follow the rules?
That's true.
That little card's going to make us follow the rules. So, I mean, since that goes back, it's been a good one. Everybody said we were really entertaining tonight and off the wall. And I think it was all because of my earliest comment that got us demonetized. I will not bring it back up again, but we've really had a good momentum since then.
Yes, absolutely. We did.
It's 8 o'clock at night and it's still 103 degrees outside here.
Holy shit.
Wow.
You're too young to be what?
Fully fledged refugee from the 60s.
How he must think I'm a lot younger than I actually am.
Bill, what year were you born?
I'm not that old, but you have to realize is I followed the Grateful Dead around for like the last 10 years of Jerry's life.
You're a deadhead. Well,
big time, man.
You're all younger than me, so
yeah. But I'm what Ron? How much younger is Ron? Y'all's ass. What? I was born August 11th, 1965. I'll be older this year.
You're a kid. You're just a kid. I remember being a kid in my 50s. What the heck?
I'd like to have a new back, please. I don't want to go under the knife, but they said something about the separations. Anyway, I have stenosis of the spine, so they want to cut me open and make it a bigger space.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bill. That doesn't sound like fun at all.
Well, I keep avoiding it. Don't talk about it, but I don't bring it up a whole lot. Ron's known about it, and John's known about it for a while. Yeah. I just don't bring it up a whole lot. Anyway, with all that being said, John ran away. So we talk about John while he's gone?
Sean took care of that for us.
Sean's got it.
Yeah, no, but see, John can still read that. John would have to go back and watch the replay if we were actually talking. So anyway, but yeah, I thought it was really cool that Billy sent me that and that Mike sent me those.
Well, why don't you make a nice little review video of it for the Pay Billy Back?
You think Billy was going to actually watch my video if I make one?
Well, if you make a review video, he would. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe maybe he does. Anyway, but this, my wife was wanting to sell these on eBay because Mike said that they were selling for like 2 or 3 times.
No.
No, she was just joking. She knows I'm an avid Star Trek fan, and I've got a shuttlecraft stamp with Shatner's signature. The only thing that kills me, I had a signed Generations poster with Shatner's signature on it and Patrick Stewart's signature on it, and I don't have it anymore. Oh. I could kill. I mean, that's both captains of the Enterprise on one poster.
Your ex-wife got it in the divorce?
No, I've only been married once.
I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
I guess you could say my ex-cousin got it in the divorce.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So
first cousin or second cousin?
Wait
a minute. You're from Virginia, so it don't matter.
I was gonna say he says we're related, but he's so I let him think that. But I personally don't see like 5th and 6th cousins removed as related enough to really matter because I don't think we share enough DNA. But
they call that kissing cousins when you're that far away.
But it was an odd situation. I moved from Virginia to Georgia with him because the whole intent was we were going to come out here to Washington because at that point in time, yes, I'm going to tell this story. I was a Twilight fan. I read all of those sparkling vampire books. I'm not shy to admit it. I read them all. And so I was an avid, and I was a vampire fan. I wanted to be a sparkly vampire. So we were going to come out here to Washington State and open up a restaurant with Southern cooking. Because when I was in Virginia, I worked with my mom and my family. We catered. She opened a restaurant. She did all kinds of stuff. I got the best, I won't call it corn dogs. We called them dip dogs back in Virginia, recipe that you've ever seen. and it's got like a thin coat on an all beef hot dog, and you got to smother it in mustard, and then you eat it. Oh man, it blows a corn dog away, but we call them dip dogs back in Virginia. So yeah, we're going to come out here and we're going to do that. One thing led to another. My wife, who I'm with now, came to Georgia because we were going to try to start out there, and they just got jealous, it seemed like, and threw us out.
Oh.
You know, basically, that, you know, like we went out one night to get some food and use their vehicle, and we were spending our money and everything, and then we were gone an hour and 2 minutes, and they said, "Where are you with our vehicle? You're never going to use our vehicle again." A week later, we were on a plane flying back here. They followed us out here. So anyway, just an awkward, weird thing, and they took all of that. So anything of monetary value, because I couldn't put it on a plane, they sold it all. And then I kind of find out later that he even used my Social Security number to get water turned on in Georgia in my name after I left. Because I was out here in Washington State trying to turn stuff on, found out I had a bad bill hanging on me and couldn't turn on my water. I was like, use. And then he came out here and was trying to connect with me again. I was like, dude, don't talk to me. You got me about $800 to pay off where you slam my name. Oh no, you shouldn't. Every excuse known to man.
It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. One of those. Well, can you be that way with me? You know,
man, you don't have to be like that. It's all right.
I ain't got no money. I only got this solid gold ring that I found at the hawk shop, man. And they gave it to me for $35. I'll give it to you. You know, one of them kind of relatives.
But somehow he got your Star Trek Generation sign poster.
Oh, and not just that, I had other stuff too, you know, and it was just one of them. Thank God my wife was like, no, we'll pack it in boxes and ship it. We'll do. So we had all kinds of different stuff, and it was so
Well,
funny.
maybe he'll bring it back someday.
I'm happier to just be done with it. You know, one of them things.
Best let that dog sleep.
But yeah, I still will have to do. Maybe when I come to Texas, I can get the stuff, and we can make them dip dogs down there.
We can roll.
I just need like a hot fryer and some beef hot dogs and some alcoholic beverages known as beer, but it's got to be flat for a day, and then I can do the rest.
Well, maybe we can finally open that restaurant, Southern Restaurant in Texas.
Well, I'm sure there is, but I'm not going to teach anybody how to make dip dogs because this is like I don't know. They call it a secret recipe.
Your family recipe.
Wait.
That's what I just sat down. I come back and read that.
Yeah, don't scroll back, John. You'll get your fingers hurt.
Yeah. Because we talked about you, but we begged everybody not to type it in chat so you'd know. And you have to go back and watch the replay, but they made the mistake of typing in chat.
Oh, wow.
So you just have to scroll back a little bit and see what we said.
Of course, John knows that's false. We can never control the chat like that.
Okay, I'll give
true.
it up. It was 5-1 odds you'd come back with a hickey on your neck.
Oh my God! What? No way.
Tilt your neck to the left there, Junior.
Are you guys kidding me?
Yes, completely. Yes.
No, it was actually 5-1. You come back with a female.
Oh, brutal! You graduated or were born.
Leonard's got a couple years on us.
Yeah, so he's older than everybody here.
Well,
He's our elder statesman.
I got a granny that's 97. She's an ornery old woman. She's cool as hell.
Well, don't make Leonard that old.
No, I wasn't saying he's 97. I said I have a granny. That's 97. I went and saw her back in Virginia at the beginning. That was the last time I'd actually been out to do anything. Was like at the very beginning of this shit. I flew back to Virginia in 2020, and that was the last time I went anywhere. So that's
Before the COVID.
Yeah. So that's something we're looking forward to next month. We're going to one day, we're going to go with the family to Great Wolf Lodge in Grand Mound. So we're going to be swimming around. And so I'm going to do some more, I've done my slow-mo water video. I don't know if anybody's seen it. from the dump bucket, and then we're going to come back, wash all the clothes, pack up again, and go to San Juan Island and hopefully see some whales and something like that.
Oh wow.
Cool. That'd be fun. You deserve it, Bill.
But I'm hoping that I can fly. I've got to find somebody on the island with property that I can fly on.
Private property.
Believe I can fly.
Because there's a reserve there.
Here we go.
Lake Union, they got float planes, Bill. You can take off from Lake Union there and
No, this is
fly
I'm going.
to the San Juans.
Well, no, but I'm the whole what we're doing. What we're
It was a
doing.
joke.
Okay, cool. What I'm trying to. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
don't talk about San Juan. I keep thinking of the tropics.
No, that's what they call those islands that are right there.
Puerto Rico.
It's right there next to Canada, literally.
Yeah,
It's-
San Juan Islands, Ron.
I mean, and the
I've
thing
been to
that's so
San
cool.
Juan, but not that San Juan.
Yeah.
All right, good night, Mike. Have a good one. Thank you, sir.
Good night,
But
Mike.
Adios,
what it
sir.
is though is we got to ride on a ferry for an hour and a half to get to this island,
Well, I love a good ferry ride.
but for an hour and a half, and I'm going to have.
the Cape
two-
St. Louis ferry is a little bit over an hour.
Well, no. I'm going to have 2 wiener dogs in a Jeep.
Oh
For
yeah,
an hour and a half.
Well, how do
Oh,
the dogs
God.
like riding on a ferry?
Dogs ain't been on a ferry yet.
This is their
Oh,
first.
God.
What's
first
even?
time.
No.
Oh, God.
I'm telling you the crazier part. Right, 2 days before this, when we go to Great Wolf Lodge, I'm going to dump them off at a doggy kennel to stay overnight, and they've never done that before.
Well, they may
Don't
enjoy it.
get him started on the legal agreement with the dog kennel place, because that's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah, do you have to,
No,
do you have to
not
get a
this
waiver
one.
for
The
that?
one on San Juan Island is the one. And I've actually talked to her, and she explained to me what led to that, and I'm cool with her, so we're all
Oh,
good.
really? So
We were
they
right.
explained it.
What we were right. What we thought was it had to do with someone had like a Rottweiler and basically didn't explain how aggressive it was, and it attacked one of the attendees, and the people that owned the dog were just like, whatever. And so the basically what happened was the attendee sued the place to make them pay for all of his stuff, when it should have actually been the dog owner for not explaining, because apparently the dog had a history of like fights and in the local community. So she was like, no, we're just trying to do that to make sure that
Bill?
wait a minute what was... Okay, what, Marcus?
Well,
You gotta go?
No, I want to direct this back towards the subject of the show. What drones are you taking with you?
We'll see. I could take pretty much everything if I wanted to, but I got to make sure I can fly. So that's the whole thing. Right now, I'm probably going to take the Mavic, the Air 2S. I don't know, for some strange reason, the Mini 2 has really grown on me, and I love it with the smart controller. So I'll probably take the Air 2S and the Mini 2. Is probably what I'll take.
Don't
Good
take
call.
the Phoebe bill.
I begged you guys not to buy the Femi Mini. You all asked me over and over, Bill, are you going to buy the Femi Mini? I just think it's going to be a piece of trash. And I said that multiple times. I understand why you guys did it. I know that the name of the game is views on your channel. I get that. But me personally, like I said, I tend to give other people information so they can go make videos. Just like tonight with like nobody really knew about the Skydio update. I just happened to stumble upon it. Now there'll probably be 3 or 4 videos from people that may watch it or may not that tomorrow. I don't know. I know that Brian said, yeah, great minds think alike. I updated mine too. And I was like, okay, cool. So, it was just neat. But that's what I'm going to take, probably those 2. I don't, what sucks? I haven't used my Panasonic actual 4/3 camera in 2 years.
Take that with you.
Well, I'm thinking about this is so much better.
Well.
That's what, my camera when it first came out was awesome, but I bought it because, John likes to point out, I was such a Billy Kyle fanboy at the time, and that was what Billy was using then. And at that time, it was a great camera, but now it's 5 years old. So, and this is much better. you know.
Yeah.
So
But
that's
remember,
why
for the big cameras, the glass though, that's a better camera, but it doesn't have the glass on it that you probably have on your
but it's
Panasonic.
you can get glass now, quality glass for your phone, right? It may not be
I'm not saying anything against that moment. It's probably a great camera lens or whatever, but it's not going to compare it to the same glass on a real camera.
Oh, Bill was pointing out that
sensor.
The DJI Fly update. Yeah, what was that? Because I don't even know what the hell happened.
And I even remember I did bring up about how because Marcus, did you test that? Did it work?
Well, I upgraded. I haven't tested it on a drone yet.
No. I mean, you turned it on and it lets you update through the app itself, right?
Okay.
No. On the it didn't work on the Android. I tried it and it didn't. So
because that's weird.
Is it just an app update, Marcus? It doesn't do anything to the drone, right?
Yeah, but it didn't update. But I might not have given it enough of a chance, Bill. So who knows?
Oh no, what I did. The only thing with me, what happened was. I went to because I saw somebody mention it, so I went to the store, and hit the Play Store, and it doesn't say anything on the Play Store. But when I opened the app itself up, it said, "Do you want it to open up in the background?" Yada 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 yada. Do you want it to update the background? So I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I just let it sit while it ran in the background. Because if you start the smart controller, it does the same thing. It asks you, "Do you want to update in the background?" I just always say no and go ahead and fly. I haven't done that too. But the update's there for that app as well.
Cool.
Saw a couple of vids on it. 1.418. Updated mine, no problem. Cool.
I mean, the big thing about the DJI Fly update is that for the first time from DJI, it acknowledged the Mini SE.
SE.
Officially acknowledged SE.
So let me ask you this: why did they have to update the app for the SE if it's the same as the Mavic Mini?
That is a good question.
Different.
You'll have to because it's labeled the SE and it's got, so they're going to have some kind of different firmware in it. Plus, the thing that's strange, right? They usually don't update the app with a new drone facial until the drone's coming out the next day, right? That's usually the way it happens.
Hey, here's a quick question back to what we were making a joke about before us going to Brazil and bringing the SE back. Do you think it could be a case where this drone will not fly in the U.S.? Like if you brought this back to the U.S., maybe it wouldn't work?
That's a possibility. I didn't think about
That's going to piss off some Brazilians that go to Florida on vacation.
Good point, Marcus.
That's gonna make for a unique YouTube video.
If you lived in beautiful Brazil, you're probably not going to Florida on vacation.
No, they do. No, Florida is a big destination.
I'm just joking. I don't know anything about Brazil.
Yeah.
Chris was probably the one down there partying in Brazil.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing,
roll,
man.
buddy.
Blame it on Rio.
Blame it on Rio. Yep, Rio de Janeiro. Yeah. I saw the movie.
I think a lot of us saw that movie. Maybe even paused a few scenes. Who knows?
Back to our mid-spent youth, huh?
Yes. Back when the video, you can say, why is the pause button worn out on the VCR?
Yeah,
no idea.
The videotape.
yeah, and then sometimes you have to rewind it by hand. Put the pin in the middle so that you can crank it. Or they had the special little winders like the cassette tapes. Oh, well, man, crazy.
Hey, I have to take an old man break here, so I'm just going to say my goodnights.
We've been on forever. We've been almost 2 hours. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. We'll wind it up. Go for it, Ron.
I'm sorry I was late, everybody. Great show tonight. I mean, I loved our kind of discussion all over the place, and welcome Marcus to the panel tonight. And always, Chris Hope's always here with us. Of course, John Cuppi and Bill for inviting me on the show. So that's it, and I will see you next week. Everybody fly safe and have a good 4th of July holiday.
Yes, everybody fly safe and don't get too drunk. Eat plenty of food. Marcus.
Great conversation tonight. I think it looked to me like everybody had fun on the panel and in the chat. 27 people hanging in there to the very end. Thank you, everybody in the chat. So we've got some really hot weather going on in much of the nation. So stay cool if you can. Get out there and fly your drone early and have a fantastic 4th of July.
Chris Hope.
Well, we thank you guys for showing up, young ladies and young men over here in the side. And thanks for having me. It's always fun. I missed about half an hour, but I had a neighbor pull in, and I had to go up visit with him for a minute. So that's why I stepped out. Thank you, Bill, John, everybody else.
John.
You guys are great. This is an awesome chat. Like Marcus said, what a great conversation. Thanks, Marcus, for coming on. Ron, Ron's co-host. What the hell am I saying? Either way, what a great chat. What a great night. I had a lot of fun. And, you guys have a good, safe 4th of July. Don't blow yourselves up. If you're doing fireworks, don't blow. Be careful.
Blow your fingers off.
Because if you blow your fingers off, then it's gonna be a lot harder to fly a drone. So don't do that.
You
okay?
You can't play with the gimbal that way.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot more difficult. So just be safe, guys, and have a good 4th of July. And guys, I would love to give you some of the rain that we've had for days and days and days, because you guys have the heat. I've got the rain and thunderstorms. I mean, it's just making it miserable to be outside, no matter where you are, it seems. Midwest, East Coast, West Coast. It's just a mess, but hopefully better weather ahead for everybody, right?
Yes.
Yes. And with that being said, before we check out, I wanted to give everybody a heads up. Since we're heading into the month of July, and the first part of the month, we normally would have our, meet the pilots. So next month, we're going to have 2 new pilots. I'm going to have none other than Bill Russell from Northwest Drone Productions. I want to say, please don't get mad at me, Bill. Anyway, Bill's going to be here with us, and so is Al Duran from Duranify. So we're going to have both of them here for our Meet the Pilot show next Wednesday, so please tune in for that. I think we're going to do some little switching around. We're going to we may or may not do the 107, but I think we're going to switch the Air Day FPV to our FPV Air Day. Which one is it, John? Get me right.
FPV Air Day.
Okay, there we go. So that's John's show. So we may do it to like every couple of months or every 3 months so that we can build up more material to talk about.
Like a bi-monthly kind of deal, yeah.
So we might interject something different next month. I may do support early next month and maybe do a drone table at the end of next month. Maybe if I can talk to Aldrin and maybe get Billy to come in here and we can do something similar to tonight. We can like revamp it again. Maybe we get Marcus to come back and we'll have a full-blown drone panel and with a good drone table, and we'll do that next month also. So please, next week, tune in to Meet Your Pilots, Bill Russell and Al Duran, and we'll have you all in next week and have some fun. Without being anything else, and I'm stumbling on my words any further, live long and prosper.